Oscar Piastri's championship dreams are hanging by a thread, and the clock is ticking. Just weeks ago, the young Australian looked untouchable, a rising star leading the pack, and on course for his first Formula One world title. But after a disastrous weekend at the United States Grand Prix, the narrative has shifted dramatically. His once comfortable lead has shrunk to a mere 14 points over teammate Lando Norris, while Max Verstappen sits just 40 points behind, ready to pounce. With only 5 races remaining, every corner, every overtaking maneuver, every split-second decision now carries monumental weight. Austin proved to be a testing ground for Piastri, and not in the way he or McLaren would have hoped. The weekend began disastrously. On Saturday, during the sprint race, Piastri crashed at turn 1, taking Norris with him in an incident that robbed both drivers of vital points. It was a moment that left McLaren reeling. To add insult to injury, Sunday's qualifying session offered little solace. Piastri could only manage 6th on the grid, marking his second-worst starting position of the season. The pressure was mounting, and the young driver's rhythm seemed nowhere to be found. The race itself provided no relief. Piastri fought through the laps, but 5th place was the best he could manage. The speed wasn't there. The confidence wasn't there. The momentum that had carried him to the championship lead seemed to have vanished overnight. And if the results weren't worrying enough, Piastri's post-race comments painted an even more concerning picture. When asked what went wrong, he admitted, with almost shocking honesty, that he didn't have an answer. "I don't really have any great ideas right now," he told reporters, frustration creeping into his voice. For a championship leader in the final stretch of the season, that kind of admission is rare and alarming. Circuit of the Americas has never been Piastri's strongest track. Its complex combination of high-speed straights and technical corners demands absolute precision and total confidence in the car. And this weekend, that confidence eluded him. It was honestly a pretty similar story to previous years, Piastri admitted, his voice tinged with frustration. He tried to maintain perspective, noting he wasn't completely shocked by his struggles given his history at the track, yet the gap between expectation and reality was stark. He had hoped for more. The results, however, told a different story. The championship numbers only amplify the tension. Just a few races ago, Piastri seemed destined for glory. He had victories under his belt and a strong lead that suggested a relatively smooth path to the title. But the tide has turned. Over just 5 races, he has lost 20 points to Norris and a staggering 64 points to Verstappen. That swing is massive, transforming what looked like a controlled march toward his first world championship into a desperate fight to hold on to a shrinking lead. The last 3 Grands Prix have been particularly brutal. No podium finishes and just 22 points earned in total. For a driver in championship-winning machinery, these are the kind of results that can cost you everything. And the challenge is compounded by the fact that his closest rival is in the same garage. Lando Norris, Piastri's teammate, has been driving with growing confidence. In Austin, Norris finished 2nd, scoring 18 points while Piastri could only manage 10. The momentum within McLaren seems to have shifted, with Norris finding his rhythm and Piastri struggling to keep up. It's a delicate balancing act when your closest competition is also a teammate, and the pressure inside the garage is palpable. McLaren CEO Zak Brown spoke diplomatically about the weekend, but his words revealed the underlying concern. He explained that Piastri never really felt comfortable in the car throughout the weekend, lacking the confidence needed to extract its full potential. Austin wasn't his favorite track last year either, Brown noted, but for a championship contender, excuses are not enough. Points must be earned, even on circuits that are less than ideal, and lately, Piastri hasn't been able to deliver. The uncertainty is what makes this situation so alarming. Is it a car setup problem that the team hasn't solved? Is it the mental pressure of leading the championship for the first time? Or is there another factor that neither Piastri nor McLaren has identified? Without answers, the solution remains elusive, and the risk of further struggles grows with each passing weekend. Despite all this, Piastri is trying to maintain an optimistic outlook. He insists that if he and the team can rediscover the pace that propelled him to the top of the standings earlier in the season, the championship is still within reach. But the word "if" carries heavy weight. There's no guarantee that the speed and confidence will return, and with every race, the stakes rise. Right now, things are not taking care of themselves. They are slipping further from control. The lead he once held so securely is evaporating. Meanwhile, Verstappen is surging. The Red Bull driver has been unstoppable, winning 3 of the last 4 races and taking a perfect 33 points from Austin alone. That single weekend erased nearly 2/3 of Piastri's championship advantage, showing just how quickly the pendulum can swing in Formula One. The championship race, which once seemed like a 2-man battle, is now a high-stakes, 3-way war with the pressure mounting by the lap. The remaining calendar offers no easy reprieve. Mexico, Brazil, Las Vegas, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi await, each presenting unique challenges and high-pressure situations. With 141 points still available, including additional points from 2 more sprint races, every weekend becomes a crucial test of skill, strategy, and nerves. One misstep, one poor start, one small mistake in judgment, and the lead could vanish, potentially handing Norris or Verstappen the championship on a silver platter. The mental strain cannot be overstated. Piastri began the season as a talented young driver seeking to prove himself. Suddenly, he found himself in the lead, the favorite to win, the pressure mounting exponentially. Leading a world championship is an entirely new challenge, one that affects even the most seasoned drivers differently. The weight of expectation, the scrutiny, the constant media attention, and the relentless competition all combine into a pressure cooker environment that can make or break a season. For McLaren, the stakes are equally high. Both drivers must perform at their peak to maximize their chances in the team championship. And the imbalance between Norris and Piastri complicates strategy. When one driver is in form and the other is struggling, it puts the team in a difficult position. Every decision carries consequences, and every result can influence the championship trajectory. Now, every race is a turning point. Mexico is next, followed by Brazil, Las Vegas, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi. Piastri must find his pace, rebuild his confidence, and extract every ounce of performance from the car. He cannot afford another weekend like Austin. Every lap, every maneuver, every overtake is magnified under the championship spotlight. The battle is no longer just about speed. It's about mental toughness, resilience, and the ability to respond under pressure. This is the crucible that defines champions. Can Piastri rediscover the form that made him a championship leader? Can he and McLaren diagnose the problems holding him back and find a solution? Can he withstand the relentless pressure of a 3-way fight against Verstappen and his own teammate Norris? The next 5 races will decide not just the championship, but Piastri's place in F1 history. For Oscar Piastri, this is the ultimate test of talent, courage, and composure. Every corner counts, every decision matters, and the eyes of the world are watching. One thing is clear, the fight is far from over, but the margin for error is vanishing fast. If Piastri can rise to the challenge, he could cement himself as one of the sport's brightest stars. If not, the championship he once seemed destined to win could slip away. A harsh reminder of how quickly fortunes change in Formula One. The stage is set. The pressure is mounting. And as Piastri heads to Mexico, the question looms large. Can he turn the tide, reclaim his pace, and fight his way back to the top? The championship hangs in the balance, and the next 5 races will tell a story that could define his career.